Alright, so I've been in here all morning preparing for insulation. I cleaned up a little, and I went ahead and sprayed my Boricide termite treatment on everything. I did a 1-to-1 ratio, which is basically like as strong as they recommend that you mix that. I sprayed it all the way across all my sill plates, full length of the studs, both sides, all over the top plate. The rafters over here where we have the old sheathing, I sprayed it all over the sheathing. I used a ton of that stuff. So I've given that a couple of hours to dry now, and I'm going to do all of my perimeters, hit it with some spray foam. And then I know that I mentioned I was thinking about using cellulose in another video. I've changed my mind. I'm just going to use regular fiberglass batt insulation. I had so much of it left over from the bathroom. And then the whole problem with having to rent a machine for it, and then I was doing some research, and technically the machines that you rent from the box stores aren't really sufficient for that. I'm just going with fiberglass batt, like I did in the bathroom. Also, I don't know if I mentioned, I've added rafter ties to all my rafters. I started thinking it's really not that good that all that's been holding these rafters on here is just 2 big nails down through the top, so added some ties. I've put most of my nail plates on. I'm short a couple, but I'm not sheetrocking yet. I have, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to put on right there, and then I've got a couple to do on this wall, and then I think I have a couple to do on this wall over here. But insulation won't cover that. I'll still be able to do that. I didn't know how many I needed when I was at Lowe's the other day, so I just bought like a big handful, and I was short. Cleaning up in here helped a lot, and I don't know if you guys are paying attention to how messy it had got in here, but it was getting pretty horrendous. I was getting where I really couldn't walk anywhere in here. Hoping 2 cans of this stuff will do it. So I mentioned another idea that I had is, since I'm redoing the siding and a lot of the sheathing, I think I'm going to get some of that 2-inch rigid insulation on the exterior, put that on my new sheathing before I do siding. I can add quite a bit of R value by doing that. So basically I go along before I put any siding on, go around with some 2-inch rigid foam, screw that to the face of the house all the way around, and then side on top of that. I especially think that would be a good idea since these are only 2x4 walls. I don't have much wall cavity packed with insulation, so another 2 inches of rigid foam would probably make a decent improvement. According to AI, I asked ChatGPT what that would do. It said with the batt insulation, and then with that I'd be at about R21, which is, I think that's considered like above standard for my area, I think. So that would be good. Huge improvement from no insulation. Look what the house has had. Okay, so they actually sold the 24-inch center insulation at my local hardware store, which was cool, because I'm pretty sure that stuff is special order from Lowe's, so that will save me a lot of hassle. That was my biggest problem in the bathroom, was having to cut in pieces of the 16-inch stuff, do a full piece, and then cut in something to fit next to it. Well, I guess before I get that stuff in the way, I bought some more pipe insulation for this one hot water line that's going to be running in the top of the wall here. Technically interior, since it's just in the top of this interior wall, but since it's bordering the attic, I'd rather put some insulation on it. Besides just not sweating anymore, being a huge perk of it cooling off, the bugs have already greatly reduced. I don't see a spider or a nasty centipede or something every time I look into a new area of the house, and I don't constantly have them trying to get in the house. Alright, so I did set up a cut station out here. Need to move some of this old stuff out of the way. I'll use all the 16-inch spacing that I have left over from the bathroom in all those spots where I've got little pieces to fill in here and there. It'll be perfect for that. Yeah, so taking the time to set up this cut station, I think will make this a great improvement over last time when I was just cutting it all on the ground. That was honestly the worst part about it to me. My cutting setup was terrible. All right, let's see how much this expands. Oh, thought I was gonna lose them all. Wish it wasn't lightly raining so I could be storing these on the bed of my truck or something. But definitely gotta keep them under the carport. Let those all kind of sit there and expand for a minute. Finally got one of these hammer staplers, hammer style. Never used one of these before. Hope it works a little bit better than the ones that I've used before. Those, seems like I can't ever get a reliable stapler. Tried to get a good one this time. Hardest part's not losing your case of staples. Well, that worked. Now I just need to come up with somewhere to keep this. Man, I wish that had a hook or something. Feels like it'll fit in my back pocket. Man, this is a muddy mess out here. Now that I got this and it's slightly uphill, every time it rains, it just washes that thin layer of mud onto the concrete. I wish it would have dried out. It was like right as it got dry enough that I thought I was gonna be able to get the tractor over here and start scraping it. Now we got rain for like a full week. If you're wondering why I'm alone on this, I did request some help, but everybody that I usually have helping me is busy this week. Today is his anniversary. Would be nice to have some help, but it's really, so far, having these 24-inch bats, I think, is gonna make this go a whole lot easier. I don't know if you guys remember, but in the bathroom, nice. Oh, guess I'm just gonna put the camera on time lapse, put a fresh battery in it because it's about to die. All right, so it's not going too bad. This is it for what I can get out of full pieces. The rest of my wall cavities are obviously oddball sizes. And I also ran out. I used up everything that I bought this morning, and I used up everything I had left over from the bathroom. So I just ate dinner and I went to the hardware store for the second time today and picked up another bale of 16-inch this time, since it's all little cavities pretty much that's left to fill in. But it is later than when I would usually quit. I had a goal to get everything insulated today, so I really want to continue on and get the rest of this done before I go to bed. It's dark, but it's only 7, so I guess there's nothing else to say. I just need to get back to it. So I cut all my cutoffs into 23-inch pieces. They're fitting perfectly at the end, where the pieces I put between the rafters were just a little bit short. Stuffing these in right here at the end to fill in that void. And I'm kind of turning them down back here to close this cavity off to the attic. And that's also keeping this water line that I put the pipe insulation on this side of that. So it's actually creating a little bit of a separation from that water line in the attic. All right, I think I'm actually ready for drywall. Insulated everything that I can. I ran out, of course. I've still got this wall left, and I ran out of insulation. I'm gonna have to see if maybe there's a way I can buy some without having to buy an entire bundle again, because then I'm gonna have a ton left over, just like at the bathroom. But if you're wondering why I insulated this wall, it's for noise. So eventually, you guys might be familiar, eventually this door is going away. And so then this entire wall will be insulated. That way, since this is going to be a bedroom, we shouldn't have to deal with sound problems through here. Hopefully. I'm really not that worried about it since I'm living here by myself, but I figure this will eventually be the guest bedroom, or this will be considered a guest bedroom. Maybe eventually there'll be people in here. I don't know. I just figured I might as well put some insulation in that wall. But once the door goes away, I'll fill that in with insulation too, and then we'll sheetrock this whole thing, and then this is going to be the doorway into the room. But you can see now I have all of my nail plates on, covering all my wires. I put some on covering the plumbing here. There's only one water line that had to be covered up. So then one at the base for the drain pipe, one at the top, and then I got it for all the spots where my Romex is going through. And then I went ahead and put 2 on the top plate for my Ethernet cable conduit. I've got my string in there. So really, the only thing I'm lacking for sheetrocking this entire room, the bedroom, is I need to run this pipe the rest of the way down and stub into the crawl space somehow. I just don't want to do that, is the only reason that I haven't done it yet. And I really would like to have a second person for that, so that way someone can kind of help pull through that rim joist. And I got no help right now, so I can sheetrock this entire wall and the entire ceiling for now. And if I still have a bunch of time at the end of the day, I might look into that, because it would be nice to get this raw sheetrock too, because once all the sheetrock is up in here, I can go ahead and build the interior wall that's going to be right here and sheetrock it too. The only reason I'm leaving this out the way that I've been doing is because it's way easier access to be able to come in through that door and come in and get in here, because as soon as this wall is built, it's going to be come in, go in the kitchen, go all the way around the house, and then come in through this bathroom door. I figure I'll leave that door there until I'm to the point that I can move my bed in here. I think the way that'll probably go is I'll get up early one morning, move my bed out of the way, cut the hole out in the wall, take the door out, sheetrock the door, and try to get that mudded and painted and everything, and then get my bed in here like at night. That way don't have my bed in here when a whole bunch of dust is being made. Or I really would need to do flooring in here too, because I don't really want to have... I think I'm going to carpet this room, and I don't really want to have carpet down while all that's going on. This is all the conflicting problems. Anyway, I think I'm about to try hanging my first sheet of sheetrock. Okay, so the way I'm going to find these outlets this time is I'm setting the laser up directly at the bottom of that one. Obviously they're at slightly different heights, so I'll try to just remember that. And basically once the drywall's up there, I can just follow the stud up until I'm just below the bottom of that laser, and then I should be able to hit it with my cutout tool, hopefully. No guarantees, but I guess let's give this a shot. I'm not really sure why this side is sitting so low. It's really hard to hold it and tell what's going on at the same time. I feel like that looks better. Okay, let me grab one of my masks. And I did go with 5/8 sheetrock this time. I did 1/2 inch in the bathroom, but after doing the bathroom, I kind of just started thinking, since my stud spacing is mostly 24 inches or larger, well, not larger, none of it's larger than 24, but since a lot of it's 24 inches, I started thinking I probably ought to do 5/8 instead of 1/2 inch sheetrock. Plus, this will help. This will be a little bit better for the noise dampening as well, and it's not as susceptible to being like wavy like as 1/2 inch is. Okay, so I did not realize this was going to end up where the bottom of the sheetrock is like right at the bottom of the box. I don't know if that's good or bad, really. Alright, well that one went pretty well. Really well, actually. That one didn't. That one's going to take a little bit of patching, but luckily that one's under the desk, so not too big of a deal for that one to turn out perfect. Alright, let's cut the window out. If you're wondering why I'm doing the top sheet first, because last time when I did the bottom sheet first, I got a ton of comments of everyone telling me it's easier to do the top sheet first. So I'm trying both to see who's right. Alright, let's see if 8 feet from this sheet, if we land on a stud, and if we don't, we'll add some blocking right next to it. Alright, that gives me something to land on at 8 feet. Alright, round 2. All right, I'm gonna admit, at least when you're doing this by yourself, I don't think hanging the top sheet's easier, like everybody says. Hanging the top sheet first, anyway. It's this outlet. I'm having a hard time getting this lined up because this outlet's bumping me out and it's bumping my bottom past right here. All right, surely. Oh my gosh, the screw fell off. I think I'm gonna call that good enough. It looks pretty good right there. Well, I can't find my 4-foot level anywhere. It's in here. I was just using it like yesterday. But this is the best straight edge I have. If I go along the rafters, still, even though this gap looks big at the top, it's not going to end up being more than a 1/4 inch in most spots. This is the biggest one, and that's still not nearly as big as what I filled in the bathroom, so I think it's fine. Alright, only issue is I already can't remember which opening the window's in, or where the outlet is. Blocking did work perfectly though. Feels like I have an outlet right here. The window opening? Oh yeah, I can see a little bit of daylight right here. That must be the window. Alright, since I cut like 3 inches off this sheet, this should be incredibly light compared to the other ones. Alright, I was about to say, thought I miscut the heck out of that. These really aren't that heavy, it's just it's a really awkward height to have to hold the mat. Oop, that's not gonna work. It's completely overlapping. Felt good too. It'd be nice if a single one of these didn't have an outlet pushing it out to where I could actually just butt it up. Look at that, seems good right there. Found my level, it was in the kitchen. That's why I couldn't find it everywhere I was looking for it. I guess that's not that bad. I can live with that. My bit broke off. Ow. Man, that hurt. Well, I guess at least I got my outlets cut out before that bit broke. I can't help but feel like it's easier to do the top piece first crowd was playing a prank on me. This has been harder in absolutely every way. Well, I just hung this one upside down. I've got the mud bed on the bottom, and I've got a mud bed up here. So I don't want to not take advantage of that, so I guess I'll flip this over. Not doing very good. Well, guess I'm gonna give it a shot hanging a sheet on the ceiling by myself. Gotta hurry up, because I just got a notification that my microphone is dying. Alright, I got plenty of screws in my pocket. Got one in the gun. I just feel like this is gonna be a disaster. Of course that missed. Okay, that actually hit something. Woo! Ah, man. Alright, I'm starting off with the block on the wall this time. I don't know why I thought that was going to work okay without it. Taking my hat off first since I knock it off every single time, and it just ends up like falling over my eyes and then blinding me. Alright, I can't complain about that. Well, I guess I'm going to call it a weekend. I just do not have the want to continue on any longer in here today. I felt kind of bad about stopping because I wanted, when I got up this morning, I had a goal of getting this entire wall and the whole ceiling done. And, well, I never meet my goals because I always set them farther than what I can possibly do in a day. But I really wanted to do this whole wall, the whole ceiling, and everything in this room today. But earlier in the week, my goal was to just get these two rooms insulated by this weekend. So if you go off that, I need to turn this air compressor off. I'm always afraid one of these days I'm going to forget to unplug this thing, and my bed is right there, and that's going to kick on in the middle of the night, and that's going to scare the crap out of me in the middle of the night. So, honestly, I'm way ahead of where I thought I was going to be, but I was just ambitious this morning. I think I'm gonna have to get some help for this upper roof, or when it's up that, or ceiling when it's up that high. It'd be nice if I could get some help during the week, so I don't have to wait all the way till next weekend, because I really would like to be mudding and stuff throughout the week. I'm gonna see if maybe Tuesday night someone can come out here and help me get those sheets up on the ceiling, because man, that would help me out a lot. What I'm battling is getting some stuff moved in here to free up some room in the living room to put some type of heat source in there, since I still have nothing except I've got 2 of those oil radiant space heaters. Now that it's getting down into the 40s at night, I've only had 1 hooked up so far. I've got 1 in the bathroom, and that 1 in the bathroom, honestly, with the temperature it's been getting down to, which is not that cold, it keeps the bathroom and that other room that I just have as storage really warm in the mornings. But I've got to get either a natural gas heater or a wood stove or something more permanent set up, because it's just coming. Having these rooms insulated will make a big difference on how well I'm able to keep the house warm. Anyway, I'm calling this video quitting just a little bit early. I usually like to work until 7. It's only 6, but I worked a really long day yesterday, and I'm just out of want to right now. I can still be productive. I'll start working on editing this video. Hopefully I can get it up pretty soon. And then I'll work in here throughout the week, see how far we get before the weekend, see how far we can get next weekend. So I guess that's all there is to say. I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for watching.